It's been a long healing journey for me. I can be honest and tell you that it took many years for me just to even get through pain, okay? I was dealing with chronic pain every single day from IBS, all right? It all started growing up. I was a very normal kid, high energy levels. I love riding my bike. I love going outside and playing all the time. And, it finally caught up with me in my youth when I got into high school. I started seeing low energy levels and I started having abdominal pain, and I really wasn't in tune with my body at all. I could barely hold a job when I was 18. I got a job at Starbucks when I was 19. I was just doing what everybody else was doing. I didn't know any better. I was on the standard American diet. My parents were only doing what they know is best for me. As soon as I got out on my own, I had my first place when I was 19, living with an ex-girlfriend, and it's crazy how I barely cooked for myself. I didn't do anything. I was working so much. I didn't have any time to cook. I didn't know anything about health, and this was way before social media was popular. This is way back in the MySpace days, and it took so long for me to finally have a breakthrough. And this was something that stuck with me for the rest of my life. I had no idea that I had no idea that I was on a healing journey, and I had no idea that the foods that I ate then was affecting my day-to-day productivity levels, okay? So this is really going back when I was starting at 17 years old. That's when I was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome. I was on the Western route. I went to the doctor many times. I remember they prescribed me Prozac, and that's when I was like, okay, I've had enough. This is not working. I tried prescription drugs, I tried different things, and it honestly made me feel worse, okay? I remember the day like it was yesterday because I took responsibility for my own health. I remember everybody wasn't giving me good advice. I tried everything that they were telling me and it just didn't work. So I had to take this into my own hands. And what did I do? I started to just isolate different things out of my diet. I cut out all dairy. That was actually the first move that I made. It took about 6 months before I felt any differences. You have to stick with this, okay? And I felt terrible for years. Literally, this controlled my life. I couldn't hold down a job. I couldn't have any relationships. Couldn't go out and play with friends. I couldn't do anything, right? So I had to get serious here. And I started isolating what I call the trigger foods in my diet, and it was all dairy, all the meat, all the processed food had to go. For me, I grew up on chicken fingers and French fries and just the standard American diet with junk food, lots of congestion, lots of backed up lymph from the dairy, and it took a good year before I started really seeing some results and started feeling better, okay? And I am 30 years old now, so this was over 15 years ago where I had serious health issues that controlled my life. Now, it took honestly 5 years for me to really start to experience the benefits from the vegan diet. I went cold turkey. I stopped eating all dairy, all meat, everything. And the hardest part, to be honest, was dealing with this with my family. I had to come at this from a health and energy, perspective, because it wasn't until I got to my yoga and meditation class in college to where I really started to have some breakthroughs, because I made the connection between spirit and body. And you know what? Most people just, go to a yoga class or go to, just for stretching or something. I had a real awakening. I started to connect the dots between my diet and my energy levels, and everything changed from there. I started to meditate. I started to go to yoga class regularly. I learned how to meditate effectively to the point where I was in tune with my own body. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Is this is all about body awareness and getting more in tune with your body, and the levels of awareness just go up and up. You really need to get in tune with your body to figure out what's going on. I had so much severe pain that I was completely afraid to eat anything. This led to malnutrition. This led to I couldn't even hold down a job, right? So let's fast forward a few years, and now we got YouTube, we got social media, we got Instagram. There's all these things out there, and you know what? I developed orthorexia because I actually got too knowledgeable about everything that's going on, about our GMO world that we live in, about the toxic world that we live in, whether it's pharmaceuticals or chemicals being sprayed on our food. You know, I worked at Whole Foods for 2 years to really figure out what's going on with our food system. I've worked on organic farms all over California, Alaska, Hawaii. I've traveled all over the country to really figure out what's going on with our food. And I learned so much, okay? I was this natural person, you know, I was really into the earth, and you know what? You can't get all what you need from organic food. So I started to get serious with cleansing, okay? I started to detox, get into juicing, smoothies, celery juice. Medical Medium seriously saved my life, and I owe a lot to him and these people that connected the bridge between spirit and human beings, okay? We are spiritual beings having this human experience, and it wasn't until I started to experience this for myself to where I had the breakthrough, okay? This comes from experiential learning. You can only do so much through research and books. You need to take this into your own hands and experience what it feels like to actually feel good. That's the confidence that you need to keep you going on this path, okay? You have these little tidbits where you get clarity, you gain more natural energy, and that's gonna give you the ability to keep pursuing down this path. I've seen a lot of people, especially recently, you know, jumping off of the vegan bandwagon, starting to eat meat and different things, and you know what? I say try it all to see what works. It's not gonna make a difference for you until you activate your intuition and you have the confidence to be on a path that is really solid, okay? And for me, I really resonated with Medical Medium's teachings because he actually bridged spirit and the human world, okay? This is something that I think is highly underestimated. We cannot satisfy those cravings on this temporary platform, on this waking conscious life. You need to go deeper, tap into your infinite self, and start asking questions, okay? Everything changed for me as soon as I started meditating and having a regular yoga practice, because I started to get in tune with my own body. I developed confidence after seeing results from a plant-based diet, right? After, you know, 5 years of no meat, no dairy, no anything, the inflammation started to go away. I started to re-heal the stomach lining, the intestines. All those nerves were exposed in my intestines and in my stomach, leaky gut. Everything was there to the point where I was afraid to eat, okay? And I know what it feels like. And then I took this all the way over to the other end where I developed orthorexia and was a fruitarian, and you know, I went to extremes, and finally I'm so grateful to be in that happy medium. And that's what you have to do. You have to do what it takes to experiment on yourself to figure out what works for you, because not one diet works for everybody. There are certain things that help all of us, like celery juice, that works for everybody because we need to develop more hydrochloric acid in the gut to start digesting, to start feeling good, to start assimilating nutrients, and it's very simple here. So target your toxic load, see where you're at right now within your body and how toxic you are, and really dig deep here. Get the clarity from a meditation practice or a spiritual practice that resonates with you, like yoga or Tai Chi, and really learn the protocols, the techniques of detoxification so you can have that mental clarity again and get your life back. I want to, share my story with you all because this is something that completely changed my life until I really started to get serious and take responsibility, okay? Not only for my health, for my teeth, for my entire life. We live in this modern convenience-based world and it doesn't work anymore. The industrial age is over. It's time to be the change that you want to see in this world. There's so much information out there. All you have to do is sort through it a little bit and you can find the right tools you need to heal today, all right? So please, take my story as inspiration for you. Stay on the path, keep going. Those little bits of mental clarity and focus is what it's gonna be for you to get the confidence and have a normal life again. So, thank you so much. Many blessings to you all, and I hope you enjoyed this video.